Well, when I decided to buy a Lombardo home, it was the first interest of going into the home. They were very detailed, they were very nice, and the home itself blew my mind. Of course, I've always wanted a Lombardo home, and it started years ago with one of my sisters, and ever since then, it became a dream, not for them, but for me. But mine became manifested when I got the Lombardo home, and now I'm just so excited to have the Lombardo home because it speaks me, it is me. So I bought in the Inverness. So the Inverness is the perfect spot to 70 and to 40. And when you walk into the Inverness, just the ambiance alone grabs your attention. So I said, I want to build a ranch. So I built a Rochester. And when I got that Rochester, it Rochestered me because it was everything that I wanted to have in a home. To the Inverness, you have different salespersons. Michelle was my lady there. Her persona, her radiance, her smile. And when I walked in, she just saw a person. And when I talked to her, she asked my name and I told her who my name was. And I had some other people, my other sidekicks like my sisters and my friends came. And when I saw Michelle, she made me feel so welcome. Her smile, her laughter, she was just genuine because she reminds me of me. And it was an instant connection. It was a connection that connected right away. So I sat down and I talked to her. And so she was asking, so what brought you in? You know how Michelle is. What brought you in? And we were actually sightseeing, but it was Lombardo's because when I rode around in the vicinity here, I saw other homes. But when I saw Lombardo's, that was it. That was it for me. I wanted to go into a Lombardo home. Let me tell you, what stood out to me in the design process, when you walk into a home, I looked up at the ceiling. That was awesome. I never perceived anything like that. And let me tell you, that brick stone around that cooktop, that was IT for ME. You understand? That was it for me because that floored me right there. Then my little wheels begin to turn, and then I begin to look at everything in the bedrooms and the bathrooms, and then you can perceive what you want because after all, it was Lombardo's. Are you kidding me? It was my Lombardo home. And when I saw everything that I want, I began to automatically picture it in my head, and it became true. So it was this kitchen and the stonework around the cooktop was off, and the lighting and the detail in the carpet and the ceiling, that floored me. That was IT. It really was. Let me tell you, I have built other homes, but it was never a Lombardo home. So when you go to other places to get your design, to look at other things, it was not a studio. This was a fabulous studio where you had everything. You had flooring, you had all appliances, you had the lighting, you had everything. So I walked in with some of my sisters and we looked around and we looked around and then we asked for Jen. So here comes Jen with her smile as well, warming. Let me tell you, you cannot make a first impression twice. You can make a first impression the first time. And even though people don't say anything, people can read you and tell you who they are just by how they greet you. It's an inner thing on the inside. And when we met Jen, she was warm, she was inviting, her aura was just as wonderful as Michelle. So when we sat down, she smiled, she greeted each one of my sisters because after all, we have the same blood, so we kind of think alike about design. So you always want to have somebody to bounce something off your ear, to bounce that. So Jen was very nice. She pulled out the paperwork. She saw that I was building the Rochester, the #1 home. And she pulled out different designs from the roofing all the way down, and it was fabulous. And I have never had that type of an experience with any builder. But you know what? It's Lombardo's. What do you expect? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let me tell you, from A to Z. You understand what I'm saying? So the construction team consists of that I dealt with was Noel and Mike. When I tell you, my father used to use a phrase, a 2x4. I don't know anything about construction, but a 2x4, I understand, can fit in any spot. can do anything. That's what they were. They were my supermens. Let me tell you, if I had any problem, Noel came, and you know what? This really tripped me out. There was a scratch on my, double doors that was going into my office. Thank you. And he saw a scratch on the door, and he removed both just to get that right. And when we went through the walkthrough, he explained everything and any crack, any part of the wood that was out of place. Now, let me tell you something. I want you to know that I'm speaking generally from my heart. This is real talk, for real. This is no joke. And nothing can be perfect. And it was not perfect. We had some hiccups. We really, really had some hiccups. But let me tell you, that boy had a scalpel that could smooth things right out. It was unprecedented. I'm telling you, I have had the experience of my life. You know what? The best experience I know, and this is for real, is my God and my Savior. And he is the ultimate experience. But he blessed us to live on earth. And when we live on earth, he gave us pleasures. And the Lombardos was under that.